Welcome back to Little R&R. Join Russ Johns and Ronald Earl Wilsher as they discuss life, liberty, and all things extraordinary. They're untapped, uncensored, unabridged.
Welcome back to the podcast, Little R&R, uncensored,
untapped,
unleashed.
That's RussJohns.com over there.
And Ronald Earl Wilsher of RonaldWilsher.com.
Or you could put the Earl in there if you like that. It'll go the same place.
You have 150?
Not of just my name, Russ. Come on. How vain do you think I am? Oh, don't answer that.
We're going to have a fun time today, and we want to share our enthusiasm for life and being able to share the joy of just being around and being available. And we want to be able to share some of the messages that we've learned, the education that we've achieved over time, and get you involved in this thing called life. And one of the things we're going to be talking today about, the subject matter that is on our list today is becoming a public speaker, and some of the reasons why.
Don't get scared.
Well, we venture off on different paths on occasion, so I can't guarantee that everything will be focused on that subject, but I can guarantee that we're going to have fun today. So.
And get you to think. That's our goal, is to get you to use your brilliant mind and think.
Yeah.
Think for yourself.
Don't be the untapped brain that some people are. Get off the couch, turn your TV off, think about what you're doing, think about why you're doing it, and make a difference.
Amen, brother.
Make an impact. And so you have been a public speaker, trainer, consultant, an expert at several levels on different subjects along the way, and you had some stories that you wanted to share with us today. And Ronald Earl Wilsher is here today in the studio, live and alive.
Yeah, I like live.
Life is good. Life is very good. And so a lot of people, one of the fears people have are speaking in public. And I think you made on a couple episodes ago, you made the difference of, if you're just up introducing yourself at a networking event, you're a public speaker.
Absolutely.
You can frame it in a different light to allow yourself to be comfortable with what it means. And there are things that you can do to take baby steps along the way to become more comfortable with that.
Absolutely. Two things that I want to mention right up front. Number one, I think the reason that most people are nervous, even at a networking meeting, to stand up is I heard a guy say this one time, and it was very well put. I think the reason people get nervous when they stand up to talk is they're trying to sell the room. And that's not the frame of mind you should be in. We talk a lot about
Interesting.
We talk a lot about mindset. Mindset is your best asset or your worst. So I talk about the mindset that I teach, Russ. You may not have to pretend on this, but most people just pretend with me for a second. You got $100 million invested, right? Yeah. You're making $5 million a year, whether you get out of bed or not.
Yeah.
It's about $500,000 a month. Are you going to go out and try to sell anything to anybody?
Why would I want to?
Probably not, right? Because, whether you get out of bed or not, $500,000 a month. Well, you're probably going to realize a couple of things. Number one, I don't know how to break this to you, brother, other than to say pretty soon you're going to be dead, okay? Somebody else is going to use this spot.
Like dead?
Like change worlds. You actually technically won't be dead. You'll change worlds.
Yeah.
Right? And it's coming quicker than you think. I think if you reach 30, you should be shot, right?
Yeah.
Now 50 is looking real young. Why? Well, I turned 50 last September 11th.
Hey, 50 is the new 30.
Well, you know what Hugh Hefner said, 80 is the new 50. and they asked him one time, said, hey, Mr. Hefner, what's the best pickup line you ever used on women? He goes, oh, that's easy. I just always walk up and say, hey, my name's Hugh Hefner. It's like, but hey, I couldn't use that. Give me some help, Huey.
Yeah.
Anyway, this time here is not very long, okay? It goes really quick. The second thing you're probably going to realize, you got $500,000 a month coming in, I've got to go out and add some value to somebody's life. Right. That's our whole goal of these podcasts, is to get out and add value. So if you add value to somebody's life for us, what are you going to get back?
I get personal enjoyment knowing that I helped someone.
Well, you're going to get value back,
I'm gonna
right?
get
It's a
value
law of the universe.
You throw it out and it comes back.
Right. Whatever you come. I always say karma's only a bitch if you are,
Yeah.
right?
Amen.
So you get back, the universe will reflect to you. People say, well, money changes people. No, money doesn't change people. It just reflects and makes them a bigger version of who they already are.
It resonates. What you put out always comes back.
You know, it really ain't hard to understand. If you're going to dance, you got to pay the band, right? That little karma, right?
Yep.
And so that's what I teach people is you have to have the right mindset, right?
So pull it back to the speaking part of the equation.
Is when you stand up, think about it. How many people really know how much money you make? You may have $100 million invested. See, I don't know.
Right.
So when you start getting that mindset is I'm not here to sell. I'm not standing up. I'm not speaking to this group to sell. I'm here to add value to the group, right?
Yeah.
I'm here to give them something. And I tell people all the time at all my speaking engagements, we may never talk again. And most of them I don't.
Yeah.
But I want to give them something that they can use immediately.
Yeah.
See? So when you're in that mind frame, it takes the nervousness away. See?
So you don't have there's no roadblocks, there's no bridges that you have to cross, there's no magic
It all starts in your head.
It's all a mindset.
Right. Because when you understand the value of what you have to offer, you believe in it so much, you're not out selling. You're just out sharing information, and you're out having conversations with people.
You don't have to sell.
You don't have to sell. You're adding value. So whether it's one person or whether it's 1,000 people. Right? So now, again, you'll get I'm sure when you stand up in front of your first several hundred people or 1,000 people, you get a little nervous.
Yeah.
But you just use that. All athletes and top performers get a little nervous, but you just use it as energy.
Yeah. Well, I know I know we've both been in front of large groups and had the opportunity to share information with them, and I think it's important for anybody that is thinking about it, just to have, if you can get a subject that you're comfortable with and you can talk about. It's so easy just to have a conversation. Pick somebody in the audience, just have a conversation with them. Look at somebody else and have a one-to-one conversation. People enjoy and appreciate intimacy. They like the feeling that you're talking to them. The message really resonates with them. And I think you're talking about somebody, a psycho blonde that you had an opportunity to have a conversation with?
Well, I tell people, I think there's very few things you can do. Once you get your name registered, you got your landing page set up, you've got an email list started, there's very few things that you can do that will impact your business more and leverage your time better than becoming a public speaker.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to leverage your time. See, you're really attracting and engaging, right? Mm-hmm. And you're not out there trying to sort through people. You're attracting people, letting them self-select. And so I had a conversation with my girlfriend, Catherine CrawfordWheat.com.
CatherineCrawfordWheat.com.
And
lovely lady.
She owns Woman's Insight. And so I told her, I said, you need to become a public speaker. If you want to build your audience, you
what
become
was the first thing out of her mouth? Oh.
Not no, but hell no. I mean, this woman got afraid just standing up at a networking meeting. Yeah. She's now, as of today, this is early 2014, she has given 17 speeches. And you have to listen to this woman's story. If you want inspiration, you should see. Here's a woman 4.5 years ago could barely send an email. Right. And you should see what she's accomplished. But a lot of it has been because she learned how to get up in front of a group of people. Right. It increases your credibility. It increases your attraction power. And it's not hard. It really is not if you learn the right mindset and you're not there to sell. You're there to share.
And the other thing that it really does, and I think everybody wants to achieve over time, at some point, I have to believe that there's confidence involved. And speaking in front of an audience, it will give you a tremendous amount of confidence after you've accomplished this.
Amen.
And so there's absolutely no reason not to do this. Well, hold on. And how do you go about doing this? I mean, who's a speaker? How do you get a hold of them?
RussJohns.com if you want a good speaker for your group.
And Ronald Earl Wilsher.com if you want another good speaker.
Book me to speak. I walked out of a recent speaking engagement, and a guy texted me, and he said, hey, I was getting my car from valet, and I heard this lady say, hey, that hippie guy was really good. So if you want to increase your credibility, become a speaker. Now, we're going to talk about in the next segment about one sheet, how you start letting people know you're a speaker, and some of the fundamental steps you can take if you want to start booking speaking engagements and increasing your visibility and starting conversations to impact your business.
Excellent. Let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. So don't tune out. Don't go away. Hey everyone, it's Russ Johns here, and thank you so much for being with us on the podcast today. Ronald, Earl, Wilsher, and I will entertain, educate, and inform you about things you need to know as you're building your personal brand. Stay tuned and don't go away. Hey folks, thanks for being here, and thanks for having a little R&R in your life. We're going to
R&R, uncensored, untapped, ungaged, from russjohns.com.
And ronaldwilsher.com.
There you go.
And we're here today talking about the second half of the equation. We're talking about public speaking and some of the value that it'll bring to your brand, your business, and who you are and what you do. And talking about some of the subjects that you're passionate about is the easiest way to get in front of people. And the easiest way to get in front of people is also share the fact that you're a speaker.
Yeah, people come up to me, Russ, all the time. Ronnie, how do you get all these speaking engagements?
You probably put your name out there.
Tell people you're a speaker.
Tell people you're a speaker. I'm a speaker, and I'm available.
And I'm available. Well, for a fee.
For a fee.
It's called free enterprise, right?
Yeah. And a lot of there's so many organizations that want to have a speaker share a informative,
positive
message every single time. And if you share that with people and let them know that you're available to do that, people will actually call you. Is that your experience?
Absolutely. I just had a lady that I do, as you know, Russ, and I think we've talked about it before, I do branding for humans classes.
Yep.
How to properly engage in the new media.
It's kind of the foundation of this podcast.
Right.
A lot of
attract and engage is better than chase and convince. The higher your expert status, the less you have to negotiate.
Right.
See?
Yeah.
And so I have people all the time calling me, wanting me to speak. We've heard about you. We've looked at this. We saw that, right? And so we book it. That's how we do it. It's not difficult. But here's the thing we're going to talk about in this segment is one sheet. What's a one sheet? What
does it need to be?
What does it need to be? And also how do I let people know that I am a public speaker, that I'm a keynote speaker?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. So.
And what's the difference between a keynote speaker and a normal speaker?
About $100,000 maybe.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I mean, public speaker, I'm not real big on titles, you know, but keynote speaker sounds better than public speaker to me.
Right.
But just whatever fits your personality. I mean, because that's another thing. It's a good point, Russ, is I always tell people, if you ever have a question about anything you do, anything you're doing in your business, in your life, always listen to your heart.
Yeah.
Don't forget to take your brain.
You typically know the answer.
You know. See?
You know the answer.
So whatever feels right for you. People, we talked about this in another podcast, but people come up to me all the time. They go, Ronnie, when I grow up, I want to be like you. And I'm like, no, you would suck as me. Okay, you do you. You're a much better you than I could ever be.
I'm a much better me than you.
Absolutely, and vice versa, right? Even the framers of our Constitution, what they say, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created pretty much alike.
Yeah.
No, equal.
Equal.
See, we're all equal. And now, because of the new media, because of the access, because there's no capital barrier.
Anybody can self-publish.
You're not only on the media, you are the media, Russ.
I am the media.
You're the media. I mean, look at what we're doing with this podcast. See, if we wanted to do this 10 years ago, you're the expert in this field. What would we have had to do?
Jump through major hoops. And as a radio host, I go through that same exercise. The studio, everything that goes along with it, the transmitter, the tower, and people would have to record me on a cassette deck or something.
Right. And now with the podcasting, I mean, anybody can start a podcast.
Absolutely.
And it's all about just getting your message out, starting conversations with people. That's what this is about.
And the whole point of this podcast is helpful tips, helpful hints, techniques that you can use day to day, every single day.
And that you can implement immediately.
And it's not secret sauce or
Right.
magic dust. It's just making a choice in your life
To do it.
And some people are motivated by different things. So think about what you're motivated by. Think about why you're motivated and what is the end goal. We talked last week, we talked a little bit about I don't know if it was even on the podcast, it's just conversation about have an end in mind, have a goal. And it's not, you don't have to have a New Year's resolution. You don't have to have anything big planned, but know the result you're looking to accomplish.
Know what you want.
Know what you want.
Right, because most people, they don't get what they want because they have no clue what they want, right?
I've been there myself.
Right, and we all have,
and
right?
My son is going through this equation of trying to reflect on what he wants to do with his life, go back to school, go to a different job, travel. Everybody has that same, the same experience.
In process, I go through.
Knowing what you want and knowing who you are simplifies everything about your life.
That's the basis, Russ, of everything you're going to get.
Yeah.
See, most people. So, why do most people not do this? Why do most people not get what they want? Well, what I found is most people are afraid of what other people might think about them. So I want you to remember something. If you really knew how little people think about you, you'd be far less inclined to care what they think about you.
Absolutely.
Because who are they thinking about?
They're thinking about themselves.
And that's okay, though. A lot of people think that's bad, but that's not. That's good, actually.
Well, perception is reality. And I, this thought just occurred to me. And being a public speaker is key to this, because what it does is it helps you focus what you really want to say. It requires you to actually think about this. And the best audience that you can achieve is yourself. Speak to yourself.
Self-talk. We talked about it.
Self-talk, yeah.
Right.
Self-talk, and make sure that you're telling the right story that you can believe, you can trust, and understand and grow from. Because otherwise, you're going to be the command of the clicker on the couch.
Right.
And it's going to get you nowhere.
Non-connected, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people, you're put here to change the world. You're not put here to save the world.
No.
You're put here to change the world by adding value to it, by being who you are. See?
We had a conversation about the butterfly effect. Everything you do has an impact on somebody somewhere.
That's an excellent video. Go to YouTube, andyandrews.com, The Butterfly Effect, a very, very powerful video.
Yeah.
So be careful. Who was it? Every move you make, every breath you take,
yeah.
Right? Who's that, the police or somebody?
Yeah, the police.
So it's all connected, see?
Yeah.
So the decisions you make today will impact generations to come.
Absolutely.
See? And we talked about starting a conversation, remember?
Yeah.
One of the themes of these podcasts is if my dad hadn't started a conversation with my mom a few years back, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to the great RussJohns.com doing a podcast. That conversation my dad started with my mom led to this podcast.
Absolutely.
Isn't that cool?
So we should call them up and thank them for that.
Hey, Mom. Gracias.
RonaldWilsher.com is here in the studio, and we're just rocking it out. And I love what we're doing. I love the idea that we can share this information and actually make measurable results from everything we're doing.
A difference.
It makes a difference. And pay attention to what we're saying. Pay attention to what we're doing, why we're doing it. And if you disagree, if you have other opinions,
that's okay.
Contact us. Reach out to us. Search us on.
Well, they can't disagree with you. That wouldn't be very smart, Russ.
I don't think. I would love people to disagree with me, because I might learn something in the exchange.
Right. It's okay to disagree. And I always tell people, we talked about this earlier, it's okay not to know. If you don't know something, I don't know is a perfectly intelligent and legitimate answer.
That's an excellent answer for most people.
Absolutely. And so when you start understanding, I don't know everything. We talked about it earlier. Everyone I meet, Russ, is superior to me in some way.
Yeah.
See, and I try to learn something from them. See, I'm learning a lot about podcasting from you, and hopefully I can give you a few tips that you can learn to help.
Well, I'm going to learn about videos.
Right, and we're going to talk about that in another podcast. So,
well, if you if you care to know and understand a little bit more about what's taking place in social media, we both, RonaldWilsher.com and RussJohns.com, we spend a lot of time because we're passionate about this. We're passionate about what we're doing. We're passionate about speaking on it. We're passionate about sharing it. And the whole purpose of this is to get out in the world and improve people's lives.
Add some value.
Make a difference. Make an impact. And so join us next week.
We didn't get a chance to talk about one sheet or any of that, but we will. We'll talk about that's basically a bio is all it is. It's real simple. And if you want to see mine, you go to RonaldWilsher.com, and it's all everywhere.
I'm gonna put one together in the next week so we can announce it in the podcast.
Yeah, it's real easy. It's real simple.
Yeah, very simple. It's amazing how we get off on these tangents.
I like tangents.
Yeah, me too.
Always take the high road. It's always less crowded and the view is spectacular.
I know. Hey, well, thanks for being here, and see you next week.
RonaldWilsher.com.
RussJohns.com.
Good day.
Little R&R.